have created an assessment that covers the basic knowledge that we need to know on how to read VFR sectional charts as private pilots. So there are enough symbols and information on these charts that could create a countless number of assessment questions, but as private pilots, airspace is a focal point, both in your oral and during the flying portion as well, and planning your cross country. So creating this assessment to help us ensure that we're able to distinguish between airports and identify certain airspace and different symbols on the chart. So like I said, there is a lot of information on these charts. There's going to be some things that you find just, by studying, looking over different charts. You're going to find different things that you've never seen before every time you look at it. So I recommend studying the chart legend, which is, if you have ForeFlight or another electronic flight bag, that does have it on there. You just gotta pull it up. And then if you're using the standard paper charts, they are on one of the foldable flaps. Studying these are gonna help you better understand some of those funky symbols that you may not see all the time. And because knowing this information and being able to see and identify these charts pretty quickly is going to be important as you move on in your training. So question one, we're looking at Laurel Airport, basically just seeing or asking what kind of airspace it is. So that faded magenta line, is it class E, B, C, or D? Then we go over here. So this airport is Hattiesburg. It's got the same magenta, but it's not faded. It is a dash magenta. So what is the difference between this airspace and the airspace at Laurel that we saw in question one? Looking at this airspace, we're looking at the Easton Newman Airport, which is that blue dotted line. We're asking what kind of airspace that is, E, B, C, or D. And then on this question, we're looking at Richmond International. It's got that solid magenta line there. Again, we're asking, is it E, B, C, or D? And then over here, we look at Minneapolis, St. Paul, that solid blue line, asking, is that E, B, C, or D? And then over here, we've got a hashed magenta kind of box there. So is that a restricted area, temporary flight restriction, prohibited area, or a military operating area? Here we see that the name of that, it starts with an R and then is 4808. So if we go back to here, it starts with a P. So it looks pretty similar, but the identifier on it is P206. So we're asking, is that restricted area, temporary flight restriction, prohibited, or military operating area? Over here we see this airspace, and then we see a red circle there asking, is that restricted area, TFR, prohibited area, or an MOA? And then on our last question here, we kind of see two airports focused, Dallas Exec and Lancaster. We're asking why Dallas Exec is blue and why Lancaster is burgundy. So the answer choices are RBD has a tower, Lancaster is a private field, Lancaster only has one runway, and RBD has IFR operations only.